Already 27 years ago, on Monday the 18th of August 1986, this topic was discussed by Billy Eduard R. Meyer, Beam, and Quetzal during the 211th contact. Billy, as we are already on the topic, and even if I get myself into hot water with the men's world, all my life I have come to the realization again and again that viewed as an entirety, the intelligence of the female gender is dominant compared to the male. The female achievements of intelligence I would almost call extraordinary, if I draw together everything in regard to the overall intelligence of the terrestrial humanity, and in particular the man's world. Naturally, it is thereby to be considered that there are frequently great geniuses among the men, whereby in this regard, from the side of the women, there is rarely a mention. However, I think this must not hide the fact that the real great intelligence indeed lies with the female gender, which however is suppressed and demolished by the men's world, because it gorges itself as better, greater, and more intelligent than it truly is. That gave me the thought that the actual and true mass of intelligence must lie with the female gender, which she will transfer onto the male gender, whereby I mean an inheritance, by means of which the intelligence of the mother is transferred to the child, and thus also to the male descendants. And, since it has to be thus, the reason for the oppression of the women through the man, as is common here on our earth, may perhaps lie in the fact that in his boastfulness the man cannot accept that the female gender is simply blessed with more intelligence. Perhaps it may be that the men's world, because of that, has fallen prey to a phobia and is afraid that the female gender could take over the rule. However, there are certainly still many other illogical reasons from the side of the men's world for the oppression and lack of equality of the woman. With all that, I do not want to say that the man's world consists only of nobodies and wimps. Rather, I'd like to make the point that it would be very appropriate if the man would summon up more tolerance and respect, as well as equality towards the woman, so that she could also unfold and develop herself in the appropriate scope and in the freedom that is due to her. Indeed, it is namely the case, as I have recognized it, that the female gender in many respects of life, of being human in the real and true sense and of the peaceableness, is notably further developed than the men. Consequently, the women assess and approach many things more intelligently. Also, their logic seems to me more pronounced, and also their sense of true freedom, love, and harmony. However, these are exactly the things that apparently don't suit the males of the creation, for which reason they constantly try to disregard, oppress, and exploit the woman, for which, unfortunately, many women lend a hand. The reasons for this are often inexplicable, and especially if these are pertaining to the female gender, or are inhumane, as for example, with prostitution or servitude to a good-for-nothing man. Unfortunately, there are, however, also the feminists and women's women, that is to say, women in the position of control, who think of themselves as mighty and place themselves above others and bring them under their control, like the man does with the woman. On account of that, the fact nevertheless remains that the intelligence of the female gender is by far predominant to that of the male, wherefore it also must be said that there are black sheep for both genders who are completely different to the rest, when women simply go overboard, become despotic, aggressive, and illogical, as also happens with men. Ausartungen are everywhere. However, in regard to the women, it does not dismiss the actuality of what I have said. Quetzal, what you have explained is of correctness. However, in our world, there are also rays of hope to be recognized. In the Daily Advisor of Thursday, the 6th of December 2001, the following report was published. First-time identifications for Saudi Arabian women, Dubai. For the first time, Saudi Arabia issues identity cards for women. A government official explained that since the middle of November, 2,000 female citizens have received identity cards. On the new identity cards, the women are shown unveiled. Up until then, the women in Saudi Arabia were only noted on a family identity card. Closing statement. These lines were already published 11 years ago. Personally, I find it difficult to detect a worldwide improvement of the equality of man and woman. This article was first published in the FIGU Bulletin number 39.